Welcome back guys to another Cyberpunk video. This time I want to show you the best weapons in Cyberpunk 2077. And by best weapons I mean I'm not only showing you like all iconics. I will only show you the best iconics, the best weapons you can use in your playthrough. And I've done a lot of playthroughs. I've done over 10 playthroughs for this game. All were done on very hard and I've invested over 1500 hours. I know that best weapons is often a very debatable topic and it obviously also depends on your preferred playstyle. So I'm not simply saying that this is the #1 best weapon in the game, because there clearly is no clear #1 in this game. So I will show you the best weapons for each category, the best handguns, the best rifles, and I will name my personal favorite for each category. We'll also only look at the iconic weapons because those have special traits which makes them more powerful than the original ones. We will start with the shotgun category. Shotguns are not necessarily my favorite weapons, but we got some crazy new add-ons, of course, with the new Guts weapon. The Guts is basically another crazy variation like the Mox, and similar to the Mox it also suffers from the same illness, that it has an insanely low reload speed combined with a spread that is simply out of this world and a recoil that is tilting your screen every time you fire it. So in total, this is not really the best shotgun you want to play with. It is rather a fun weapon that makes fun when you want to play as Rebecca from the anime, but that's really all you can say about it. Much better in my opinion is the Batsing Shong, which is a smart shotgun with homing projectiles. So even if you stand far away from your enemies, if you have a smart hand grip in your cyberware, these projectiles will still find your target and make it explode with an increased dismembering rate. However, the damage for this weapon is really underwhelming. You can stand directly in front of your enemies and shoot them directly in their face 2 or 3 times and they still refuse to die. This weapon can be found after beating the game when you return to the Ebonike to get the crafting spec for it. The best shotgun in the game for me is the Sovereign, because it has an increased damage, a reduced spread and an increased reload speed. So this shotgun does everything right and everything you actually want from a shotgun. This weapon one-shots every enemy and you don't even have to invest heavily into the annihilation tree. And even if you don't one-shot your enemies, they will simply be knocked down and you can easily finish them off. You should definitely check out this weapon and you can find the crafting spec from an NCPD location as well. Smart weapons are a rather weak category. I can't really recommend much of these weapons because the Shingen Mark V is only a burst weapon and it needs 2 or 3 bursts to kill a single enemy, which is just a very underwhelming performance. It was a much better weapon when we actually had 100% crit chance and 500% critical damage, but nowadays this weapon just simply deals 5 times less damage, which is not enough to kill your enemies. And the Yinglong on the other hand has such a small magazine that you will be kept in an infinite reload loop for the rest of your life. The only real smart weapon which I can recommend in patch 1.6 is the Divided We Stand. Because this weapon got a heavy buff in patch 1.6, it now also deals additional poison damage and it also creates poison clouds which simply work as poison grenades which deal massive damage additionally to your shots. There are not many sniper rifles in the game and the breakthrough is definitely not my favorite. Similar to all other tech weapons are not able to equip a silencer, which means you alert your enemies, you lose your stealth damage multiplier, which is a huge damage loss which I just don't want to have. Even though the breakthrough can shoot through walls, but losing a 4 times damage multiplier is just too much of a negative effect. So I rather recommend you to use the Overwatch, which you can get from Panem during the Panem storyline, and it comes with an integrated silencer. This sniper rifle is the only sniper rifle with a silencer. Any other sniper rifle will immediately alert your enemies, but this weapon does not. And that makes it one of the most powerful sniper rifles in the game, and it is only second to the 05 because the 05 got a heavy buff and it now shoots explosive rounds. This makes the 05 the overall best sniper rifle because it simply acts like your personal pocket rocket launcher. And the insanely fast reload speed thanks to its reload speed perks makes it by far the best weapon, closely followed by the Overwatch and last but not least the Breakthrough. For blades I've already made a whole separate video, but I will show them here again. On the 3rd place we will have the Scalpel. The Scalpel has 100% crit chance whenever you use Sandevistan. But every time you use Sandevistan with a blade, you absolutely cripple your damage. And the Scalpel has no damage modifier which counters the damage loss. So the Scalpel is not even the best blade in a Sandevistan build and you will be better off with using one of the following 2. The Satori has an insane 500% critical damage, and when you get your crit chance high enough, above 60 or even 70%, then you will deal massive damage almost every time, making it a way better choice even for a Sandevistan build. But the blade I prefer the most is the Ginchimaru, because it gets double damage during Kurenzikov from your combo finishers, it gets double damage from 100% crit chance, and it gets double damage from your beast mode. This brings the damage of the Ginchimaru on par with the Satori, and you don't even have to get 100% crit chance. You will get 100% crit chance whenever you use Kurenzikov, and Kurenzikov also slows down time, so you get the best of both worlds, beast mode and time slowdown at the same time. A honorable mention in the rifle category goes to the Problem Solver. The Problem Solver has the highest magazine capacity in the game with 80 or 90 rounds, it has the highest fire rate in the game, and if you have a build that actually counters a recoil, you can make this weapon actually work really well. The Problem Solver can be looted from a guard in front of the raid camp. But it still lacks a lot of the punch of the other two, which are the Psalm. The Psalm is a really outstanding rifle, and you can find it very early in the game, because the crafting spec is lootable from an NCPD location in Northside. However, the best assault rifle in the game is by far the Moronlab, because you can make it a one-shot sniper rifle with a silencer. So you can actually use this weapon instead of a sniper rifle. You don't have to go for a high body, simply equip the Moronlab, equip it with a silencer and MK Clearview, and you will have one of the easiest and best stealth sniper builds in the game. You only need to go for 20 reflex and that's it. The Moronlab crafting spec can be found from an NCPD location in Pacifica. There's a plethora of really fine handguns in the game, and it is actually really hard to make a list for them. However, on place number 5, because I simply have to mention this weapon, I will place Skippy. Because Skippy is such a unique weapon that it simply has to be in the video, even though it is not the strongest one. So it is a well-deserved place 5 in my opinion. You can loot this weapon from a quest in a back alley of Haywood, and it will immediately ask you to become either a stone cold killer or a puppy-loving pacifist. In this initial setup you have to pick the pacifist option, because it will simply switch to the opposite Stone Cold Killer after 50 kills, and Stone Cold Killer will only make headshots with this gun for the rest of your playthrough. On place number 4 we have Comrade's Hammer, which is a one-shot pistol which only has one bullet in its magazine. And there's even a perk in the handgun tree which doubles your damage for the last bullet in your magazine. And since this weapon will always shoot its last bullet, it simply doubles the damage of this weapon. However, this weapon no longer shoots explosive rounds, so you will have no area of effect, you really have to hit your target. And that is a big nerf for this weapon and prevents it from a higher ranking. My favorite handgun number 3 is Lizzie. Lizzie is an amazing tech pistol that shoots up to 6 rounds, and it is no less than your new personal pocket shotgun, because it simply outperforms any regular shotgun due to its high headshot multiplier. Handguns have up to 240% headshot damage, whereas normal shotguns only have 100%. So this weapon is basically the best shotgun in the game, but it is not even a shotgun, it's just a pistol. Lizzie can be found in the basement of Lizzie's bar during the automatic love quest. On place number 2 we have the Dying Knight. The Dying Knight can be obtained in your first hour of playtime from Wilson, and it has an additional headshot damage multiplier which multiplies all your headshot modifiers by an additional 1.5 times, so you can get up to 360% headshot damage. And since headshot damage is a new meta in this game, 360% headshot damage is way more powerful than critical damage could ever be. And on top of that, it has a 22 rounds magazine and an auto fire mode, so you can simply use this pistol as a rifle with 360% headshot damage, which is just 3.6 times higher than any other regular rifle. And what is crazier than 360% headshot damage? Shooting multiple bullets at the same time. And that is exactly what two weapons are doing in this game, and one of them is the Death in Texas pistol. By shooting multiple bullets at the same time, you are not only increasing your damage, you are also increasing your crit chance, because every bullet has its own crit chance. If you have 75% crit chance in your build and you multiply the fail rate of both bullets, you will actually get only a 6% fail rate, which means you have 94% crit chance. So at least one bullet will make a critical hit anyway. And this makes it the best stealth weapon, which guarantees me to make critical hits every time without having to invest heavily on it. The Death in Texas pistol can be collected during the X Factor mission in Maiko's office. You could also do the same trick with Dum Dum's revolver, which shoots 3 bullets, but this weapon got severely nerfed and it is not nearly as good as it used to be. I hope you enjoyed this video and you have a couple of new weapons to check out. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like, and see you next time.